Hi, I'm Heather, and this is knitting update number 50 for Wednesday, March 18, 2026. I cannot believe I've done 50 of these. That's pretty crazy. Let me get into a couple things here today. So I had worked yesterday on my Jupiter crop. If you watched yesterday's video, pattern is by Boylan Knits, but I haven't really worked on it that much, and unfortunately I think I have a bit of a knitting injury right now. I'm having so much pain in my right shoulder. It is excruciating. This started like 2 days ago. So yesterday was pretty bad. It started actually in the front of my arm because when my cancer first metastasized, I had bone mets and I had a lot of pain in my right side. And I kind of felt like that also because I had issues with my right shoulder. Like, I don't know, there was cancer in the bone or in the joint. I'm not sure where, but it kind of led me to not use my right arm because it was too painful, which led to frozen shoulder, which made things even worse. And also, I was on all these meds to put me in menopause, which menopause also there's a link with like frozen shoulder joint issues and the hormone imbalance. Anyways, so been a little bit stressed out about that, not gonna lie. Thankfully I did just have a CT and I will be getting the results next week. So if things are worse or if things are progressing in a way, I'll find out about it next week. But now, yesterday and today, it seems like the pain is more coming from like my neck and shoulder, which is probably just muscle tightness. So I've been taking a lot of Tylenol, and today I took a hot shower. I took Tylenol. I've been putting Tiger Balm on the areas like my neck and then shoulder and upper arm. And thankfully, I was able to make a massage appointment for tomorrow. So hopefully that will help even more. But I do think that I should be kind of holding off on knitting right now. So I've only knit a couple rows. And when I have something, this is not the first time this has happened. I do have this happen from time to time. Just this time seems kind of particularly worse. Like the pain is almost more intense. And maybe that's not even true. It just feels that way. So when I do have this, I kind of try to knit with like my shoulders really relaxed or really even pushed down, and then with my hand like this to kind of stretch this out. Because I think when I'm knitting, this is my dominant side, and I think I do have the tendency to really like use this arm a lot, especially when I'm doing color work. Anyways, it is possible that over the next couple days I will not be doing a lot of knitting or making a lot of progress, and that's just the way it is. But I did have one other item that I started last week when I was unwell that I haven't shown yet. So I figured I might as well show that today. And this is it. So it is a little triangle. It will be a little triangle shawl. The pattern, sorry, let me set up. The pattern is by Knittail Derico, on Ravelry and Instagram. It's the burrow shawl. I purchased this pattern a while ago. There's also matching sock patterns. I purchased both of them, and I just finally started on the shawl. So I'm using this. I got this yarn at Ravelry at Rhinebeck last year. It is the Lina Novita collab, and this is their fingering weight or 4-ply, and it's 100% wool in the colorway Amalfi Lemon. It's very yellow. And actually, I bought this yarn to hold with like the burgundy sort of color that I'm using in my sweater. But then I decided to just use it on its own to make this shawl or scarf. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I will say this, the pattern is not the easiest to follow. And again, I feel like I don't really like to complain about this because maybe it's just me, but I think there was something lost in translation because as you can see, there's a bunch of markers. I think there's 5 markers. and you're supposed to have up to 10 markers when you're at the widest. And every row you have to take some of the markers out and then add them back in the next row to accommodate sort of how the cables are growing or shrinking. And I think that when the pattern was translated to English, some of those instructions were left out. So that part has been a little frustrating. For the most part, I could figure it out on my own, but then the last couple rows, because now I'm in sort of like a new section of the pattern, I wasn't really paying attention that I should be still figuring that out for myself. And I kind of forgot about it, and I think that I made some mistakes. So I should probably rip back a little bit and redo it, but I don't know. I might just see if I can sort of fix it as I go along. The other thing that I'm not super happy about, is this is a fingering weight yarn, but the pattern is written to use a 4mm needle or a US. Oh, the markings have rubbed off on this, so I don't know what the US equivalent is. But I find that the fabric is too open. Like, I'm not really loving how open it is. Even like the moss stitch, I feel like it would look a little bit better if it was a tighter gauge. So I've been debating, should I just restart it and use a smaller knitting needle? I don't know if that would really affect the size. I mean, obviously it would affect the size, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really been working on this since I started the Jupiter crop, partially because I got frustrated with the stitch marker situation, and then do I have to rip it back? And I don't really want to do that, especially because there's cables and increases, and I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to figure it out. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I do really like the finished product. Like, I see people's finished items. It does look really nice, and I do wonder if once I block this, will the yarn bloom and look a bit more filled in? I don't know. So I don't really know where to go with this, but I guess I don't really have to worry about it because I really want to finish the Jupiter crop first anyways. But the other thing, I never really talk about this because I'm not a big reader or a big book person, but I think I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm not knitting as much right now, probably today and tomorrow. And I'm finally going to read this book. So Eric Roberts is one of my favorite actors. If you are not aware of who he is, this is what he looks like now. He's a great actor. He's my favorite actor, one of them. And he's Julia Roberts' brother. I feel like he's much lesser known. Obviously, Julia Roberts is a huge star. I think he got a little burnt out. I believe he had a bunch of addiction issues, and he got in a car accident. I think he had kind of like a rough go when he was a young man, and somehow he was highly regarded as an actor. I feel like he was cast in quite a few movies, but then something happened where he now is no longer in the good graces of Hollywood. And it seems like Julia Roberts doesn't really talk to him or associate with him, which maybe I'm wrong about that. But also, Emma Roberts is his daughter, if you are aware of who that is. She's also one of my favorite actors, or at least she was. I really liked her in all the American Horror Story series. That's really the only stuff I watched her in. But I really liked her in that, and it seems like they don't have a relationship either. Maybe they do, and it's not at all public, but I do feel like I don't know. Like, if you go on her Instagram, you're not going to see a picture of Eric Roberts on there, or at least I haven't. Anyways, so he wrote this book with Sam Kashner. I'm not sure. I think he's a reporter or something. New York Times bestselling author. So yeah, this book came out in 2024, and I went to the Indigo. I went to an Indigo, which is like our local bookstore chain, like a Barnes and Noble. I shouldn't say local, our regional, the Canadian bookstore chain. I'm pretty sure it's Canada wide. Anyways, the day it was released, I went out there. I got this book, I was like, I need to have Runaway Train. I love autobiographies or biographies. That is like my favorite type of book to read. So, and then because it's my favorite, Eric Roberts, I had to get this book. Anyways, he was recently in a season of Righteous Gemstones. If anyone watches that show, amazing show. And he's been in a lot of sort of like Hallmarky made for TV movies. There's a series called Stalked by My Doctor, which is pretty incredible if you like cheesy, dumb, sort of Hallmark style movies. They're not, but yeah, he plays the doctor who falls in love with young adults, women who are his patients, and then he stalks them. It's pretty funny. It's pretty cheesy and B movie ish, which is why I like them. Anyway, so I have this book and I haven't read it yet, but maybe now I should take some time off of knitting and read this. And also, I think it probably will be a pretty quick and easy read. So, yeah, that's all I have to talk about today. Not much, unfortunately. And it doesn't bode well for me finishing my Jupiter crop in time for Knit City. I don't know if I said that was my goal, but that is my goal. And Knit City is today's Wednesday. It's next Saturday, so not this coming Saturday, which would be like the 20th. I guess it's the 26th or 27th. So it doesn't give me a lot of time, but also if I don't finish it, I'll just wear something else. I just kind of set that as a loose goal. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Bye.